is here. It is finally February 21st. And the reason why I chose this day is because today is my birthday. Thank you so much for being here at A Shot with Ellie. With that being said, let's take a shot. I'm very excited about it. And I pour the tequila in here already. I'll close this. Oops. Anyways, cheers guys. Thank you for being here. Saludcita a todos. Gracias, gracias, gracias. I will be doing this podcast in English and Spanish and no translation. Cheers. This is my George Strait shot glass, guys. Just had to throw that out there. Ooh. With that being said, guys, I know you guys have been waiting and wondering what my podcast is going to be about. I do want to talk to you guys a little bit about myself before, so you guys can try and see who in the world is Ellie. For those of you that do not know me and that started following me, I will be posting that on my Instagram bio, so you guys can follow me and know what's going on. Follow me at A Shot with _Ellie, and that is me. It's short for Elizabeth. But everybody, all of my friends, everybody that knows me, they know me by Ellie. And that's been my name since I was a kid. That's what everybody calls me. It's a funny story about that. I started working at a senior facility, and the executive director there comes up to me while I was in the break room, and he's like, we have a dilemma. I said, what's going on? This is my first day of work, by the way. And then he tells me, he's like, oh, well, I'm already having trouble because there's so many Elizabeths in, the workplace, and they all go by Liz. And I was like, well, that's not a problem. And his face automatically changed. He's like, why? I was like, because I don't go by Liz, I go by Ellie. He's like, oh, well, there goes my dilemma. So with that being said, my mom never allowed anybody to call me Liz. She did not like that name, and they always called me Ellie, so that's what stuck. So that's a little side note. But aside from that, who is Ellie? If I had to describe myself with 3 words, I would say that I'm courageous. I don't let obstacles put me down. I mean, we all have our good days and our bad days. Who doesn't? But I've tried to stay positive and see the positive side of things, despite all the obstacles that have been put in my path. I have either hurdled over them, if not crawled under them, but I feel that I've accomplished a lot with whatever has been thrown my way. In another word, I would say that Ellie is spontaneous. I whatever comes to my mind, whatever crazy idea pops up in my brain, I just like to do it, move forward with it. For instance, this podcast. I'll tell you guys a little bit about that, how this podcast idea came about. And then another thing I would say is that I'm a lover, to say the least. What I mean by that is, no, I'm not somebody's mistress or anything like that. What I mean is that I love the people around me, family, friends, but most importantly, my son. He is my rock, and the reason why I do a lot of the things, and maybe my craziness, comes from him. He helps me and tells me, Mom, let's do this, Mom, let's do that. So I do have a son. He is 12 years old. I had him when I was in my 20s, early 20s actually. I was 20 when I had him. So I became a mother at a very young age. That kind of molded me to mature, a little bit quicker than others. And I think a lot of that has to do with my background as a Latina, being Mexican. Very early on, at least in my family, this is what I grew up with, They were very, once you're 16, they're like, where's the boyfriend? Y el novio? Or, like my tias would say, like, oh, ya te vas a casar, and it's like, damn, I'm only 19 and you already want me to get married. But that's our culture, that to them, like in the ranch, for instance, I come with family members that are very, first family members that migrated to the United States. So their train of thought is different from the train of thought here, what Americans see. For instance, something I can relate, well, not relate to, but what happened is, like my mom and a lot of my tias were married at a very young age, like at 15 or 16 years old. They were already married with, one kid on the way. And I guess that to them, our culture it's the norm, I would say, but it was definitely not something I wanted. However, I did meet my son's father when I was in high school. We had our son. But my son is my world, I would say. He motivates me, like I said earlier, and that's one of the reasons why I get up every morning. That being said, those are the 3 words that I would describe myself as. Going back to the reason why I decided to start this podcast and basically put myself out there, I was, for many years, not against social media, but I was somebody that liked to have my privacy and not put my life out there. I was very private for about 11 years. I've stayed away from social media. I'm not sure if you guys consider WhatsApp social media, but that was the only form of interaction I would have. But as of January, I decided all that was going to change, and I was pushed to start this podcast by somebody very special to me. I was talking to this individual, and I had a few dreams about this. I had a few dreams that I was on the spotlight, that I was interviewing. So I brought up these dreams to my special friend, and he was the one that said, do it, make them a reality. Your dreams probably mean something. And this person has always told me I should be a motivational speaker because he knows my backstory. He knows like all of my struggles and everything that I've gone through. And so he's always told me I should be a motivational speaker and talk about my life experiences, and where I come from, and talk about that. However, like I mentioned earlier, I have been very private, and it's not something I have openly discussed and talked to people about. What this podcast is going to be about is I've noticed, being first generation American, that we don't have much guidance. What I mean by that is, like, I couldn't turn to my mother and ask her for advice, her barely knowing the American culture and the language, and me going to school here. I couldn't really ask her, Mom, how do you do this math problem? Or, Mom, can you help me with this English essay? That was never something that I had the luxury to do, and I couldn't turn. Yeah, there's teachers and people at school, but realistically, let's be honest, not many of us ask or seek for that help. I myself am very stubborn. I don't really like asking for help, and when I feel stuck with something, I either try to figure it out on my own, and it takes me I go the long route, and that's me being stubborn. So that is something I'm personally working on, asking for more help, whichever way or form I possibly can. If it's asking questions, just to kind of help me navigate a little bit easier. Back to my story is, I couldn't turn to my mother and ask her for some guidance and ask her to help me with certain things. So I feel that that's a struggle in itself. Where I grew up in South Central LA, It's now known as South LA on 53rd and Central. You know, for those that know that area, it was an interesting upbringing, to say the least. I was bullied a lot. I was so skinny back then, like extremely skinny. I was bullied by not only other nationalities, by my own culture, my own people, and it was tough. It was so tough, and I couldn't go back to my mom and tell her like this is what's going on in school because she wouldn't understand. I just kind of like sucked it up. I just, you know, I dealt with it as best as I possibly could. There were so many gangs early on, like in elementary, middle school, people were already in gangs. I tell my son now how privileged he is because at his school he gets brand new books, he gets laptops, he gets tablets, he gets his own computer. It's crazy, the huge difference. And I'm sorry to say this, but yes, where you grow up in the area you go to school to does play a huge factor in your upbringing. And I'm not gonna get into statistics or anything like that because I don't know, but it is tough to get out of bad neighborhoods because bad things, and if you're hanging around with those people, that's the exact same thing that you're gonna end up doing. Let's be real, I was in that situation. You know, growing up, I thought I was so cool, and my friends and I started a little crew. You know, realistically, where was that going to take us? I'm so blessed and so happy that my mom was a single parent, mother of three, was able to take us out of that neighborhood, and took us to a city called Huntington Park. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that city. It's basically it's mainly there's mainly Latinos there, lots of Latinos, more Hispanics than anything else, different nationalities, but it's mainly Hispanics. Once there, you know, I ended up going to high school in Southgate. So I went to Southgate High, woohoo, class of '06. Oh gosh, I just kind of said my age. So I went to Southgate High, and that's when kind of I went into a transition where I realized how different it was growing up in South Central, going to schools in South LA, to going to Southgate, where, you know, it's a little more middle class Latinos, and it was just a huge difference. Like, it seemed that actually teachers cared about you, and going to high school there, it did make a huge difference and impact. My friends changed. My friends, you know, we were all like in honor classes or AP classes and stuff. I would say that I was kind of like a nerd. But through all this, you know, and nobody ever really knew that I was brought here as a child. So I basically am an immigrant. My mother brought me here at the age of 2, and this is the land that I've known since then. So this is something that I'm openly sharing with you guys. I am a dreamer, protected under the DACA thanks to President Barack Obama. Ever since that transition, I felt like I was finally able to be free. Since this is a podcast, I will basically be speaking about different careers, different opportunities out there, I will be meeting with different friends that have openly agreed to talk about their careers, talk about their path to those careers, their triumphs. I mean, some people have gone to school, some people, school was not for them, you know, but just because we don't go to school, that does not mean that you won't be successful. Success means different things to many different people. That's something that I want people to understand. Just because you have $1 million or, you know, $300 million, that does not mean that you're automatically successful. Only because you can have all the money in the world, but inside here, you can be a rotten person. Somebody that, you know, is just mean to other people. So don't forget to be nice, smile, be friendly to others, because you don't know if somebody's having a bad day. And just by you smiling and being nice, that can make a huge difference. I feel like now we're in a world where people are just, we live in such a fast paced world, especially here in the city of LA, in Southern California. We're just like on the go constantly, and we kind of just forget to step back and breathe. In a sense, we are just always on the go, on the go, on the go. And a simple stopping and saying hi, good morning, good afternoon, how's your day? Let me take you back a story. When I believe I was 18 or 19 years old, I went to Newport, Rhode Island with my aunt. It was just completely different from what I was used to here. I mean, quite frankly, here in LA, people don't wake up, or if you're out on the street, and tell you good morning, how's your day, or stop you to actually ask about your day. That is not seen here in LA. So we get to Rhode Island, and as soon as we get to the hotel, it's understandable, the hotel people have to greet you, but they were extra nice and extra friendly, which was a little strange to me. And then later in that day, we went to the store, and there was just people asking about our day, wanting to have a conversation with us, that to me was just so bizarre, that to know that here in LA, I feel like we're stuck in our own bubble. And we're not as friendly and as nice as people in different states. So that I learned at a very young age, and I am so grateful that I did take that trip with my aunt, because it made me see the world in a different, have a different vision, and see through different lenses of what other people see and experience, because I had never experienced anything outside of California. So, and something I hold very deeply here in my heart. Going back to what I was saying, that's what this podcast is going to be about. I want to talk about different people's triumphs and how they did to get to where they are now. I personally, like I mentioned earlier, I am a dreamer. I have struggled for everything that I have in my life. The little that I do have, I appreciate it so much. I am so grateful. I've never taken anything for granted. I think that comes with our roots, my mom, again, single parent, raised 3 kids on her own. She provided us with as much as she possibly could. It wasn't easy. I know that now that I'm a single parent myself. I'm struggling with only raising 1 child. I can't imagine her struggle with having 3 kids to raise and feed and put food on the table and make sure that our clothes were clean, and it was a struggle. I have to admit, it wasn't easy, but she is my hero and somebody I look up to, because I'm not gonna cry. She is somebody I look up to because she's my world. There's gonna be no crying. So I'm gonna take a shot. And cheers to me. It's my birthday. Salud. I want this podcast to be as raw, as real, as it possibly can be. I will try to limit the editing. However, if we screw up and stuff, I'm gonna have to edit. Nobody's perfect. I am learning all of this as I go. I had never in my life had a professional camera. It is the first time. I struggled learning that thing. I mean, I know my phone camera, but that's about it. A little bit more about myself. I am currently going to school. I am actually going to be the first person in my family, in my household, to graduate from a university. So I am graduating from Cal State Fullerton. I am finally doing it. I am older, but I have not stopped believing that education is important to have. My degree is going to be in business administration with the concentration in entertainment and hospitality. My dream is to be working at a venue. I love sports and concerts, so I would love to work, for instance, at SoFi Stadium. Nothing's easy, guys. I do have to admit that. Nothing comes easy, but if you work your butt off and if you are determined and don't give up, your dreams will come true. You just have to believe in that. And you can't just sit on your ass and think that somebody's gonna come knocking at your door and tell you like, hey, do you want this job? Do you want this promotion? Guys, that's not how things work, and that's not how life works. You have to show and prove not only to yourself but to others that you are capable of doing certain things. So with that being said, something fun fact about me, let's say, I love hot Cheetos. I am not promoting hot Cheetos. However, oh my gosh, if you come to my household, there's always hot Cheetos. I can eat hot Cheetos with basically every meal. That is so bad because now that I'm older, my body doesn't react the same way anymore. I'm not gonna say my age, but most of you guys can guess, I guess. I am very happy to be doing this podcast, and I'm bringing you guys along in this journey. If you have any questions, anything, feel free to send me a message on Instagram. Send me a DM. I'm gonna be putting my email on the link below for YouTube, so you guys can follow me. You can message me. However, please don't be rude and disrespectful. You guys will be learning about my life through my interviews that I will be doing and hosting. I'm gonna be having people with different careers, different backgrounds, and I'm so excited. I don't think I'm stressed, but I'm excited. And the reason why I am stressed is because I am going to school while I'm doing all this and learning this whole production and learning all this process. I am also in school. It's my last semester. It has not been an easy decision to do this podcast, and on top of everything else that is going on in my life. And guys, I do have a mouth to feed. So in those podcasts, please feel free to donate, and I will have sponsors as well there. So sponsor this podcast, spread the word. I am so happy and so blessed. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. I will, like I mentioned earlier, I will try to be as raw and as truthful as I possibly can. But anything that has to do with my son, I will try to keep as private, because I will respect his privacy. And it's not something I want to put him out there. I am letting you guys know about my life and my struggles, and he's something different from this podcast. We'll be giving away a tequila bottle when I hit 200 subscribers on Instagram, and every subscriber after that. every 100 subscriber after that, not every subscriber. So I'm very excited about that. Follow me, guys. Again, don't forget to subscribe to the channel or subscribe to any platform that you're listening to this podcast on. I'm very, very excited. I am excited to be open, to let the world know about my life, to let the world know about other people's lives. Being a first generation American has not been easy. It's not easy for anybody. And I really hope that I'm able to guide people through my experience, my personal experiences, or through the experiences of my guests. My guests are more than willing to help and guide you. And if you can relate to anybody, they will be okay with you sending them a message or emailing me, and I can relay that message. I want us to be a community. I want us to be able to help each other and navigate through this with each other. I don't want you guys to feel like you guys are alone without any guidance. So if anything, I want this podcast to be kind of like a stepping stone. If you need any advice, any guidance, if I don't know something, I will research. I will see if somebody that I know can be of assistance. So that's what this podcast is about. I want it to be a community of help and guidance, and just don't feel like you're out there alone. That's my biggest issue right now. I want you guys to feel like you guys do have support, and you're not navigating through life on your own, kind of like how I've been doing all this time. So with that being said, thank you for being here. Thank you all for taking the time out of your day, your morning, to listen to me rant about my life. And that's what this is going to be about. It's not going to be it's not going to be censored. So I do apologize for those that are minors. There might be some people that curse. I personally curse here and there. That's just who I am. Sorry guys, I can't help it. Thank you for taking the time of your day. I really do appreciate it. It's my birthday, so make sure you are following me on Instagram at a shot with _Ellie. That's LEELLIE. Don't forget to follow me there. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and subscribe to any platform that you are listening to this podcast on. Thank you once again. Cheers, saludcita. I will be having some Spanish speakers. However, I will not be translating. Translating takes too much time. So I do apologize in advance for those that do not speak Spanish, but some of my guests are only Spanish speaking. And I can't wait to you guys hear their stories, their struggles. Everybody has a story, and it is time that their stories are put out there. I am so excited. You guys will be learning about my life and my stories and my struggles throughout this podcast, and I will probably do another solo, just one-on-one, answering any questions or concerns that you guys might have or want to know about me. I will try to be as open as I possibly can, like I mentioned earlier. With that being said, I am repeating myself a lot now. But thank you. Cheers. Salud. Have a blessed day. And don't forget to smile. Smiling not only cures your soul, but helps cure the souls of others. Smile. Cheers. And give me a birthday shout out on Instagram. Send me a DM. Thank you all. Cheers. Salud.